Which way is up? Structured versus blind ambition. Is there a difference? Join me today on Book Chat to find the answer.
Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Hello, and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, Dr. Vivian E. Moore. Hope everyone had a great week, and I hope you're having an even better weekend. All right, so I don't want to hold you for too long, so we're going to get straight to today's show. And the title is Which Way is Up? And the topic is structured versus blind ambition. How many of you remember the late 70s movie, Which Way is Up? Starring the late, great Richard Pryor. If you are familiar with the story, Richard's character, Leroy, was left in a quandary when he became a union leader with no idea of what he was doing. Whoa, that is a lot, right? And we don't want to be put in that situation, do we? But it can happen to the best of us. When faced with similar situations, with career goals and unsure how to plan for them, or those who never plan and shoot straight from the hip. Okay? We don't want to be in that category, right? But, if you're like me, you're a planner, someone who charts the destination for what they like to see happen in their personal and business life. With any job, you set aside earnings with a clear understanding of what you're investing in, and most times it's your future, right? And which is a perfect or an excellent example of a structured approach to being ambitious, right? Ambitious is not a bad thing. It can be sometimes, if you want to step on others to achieve your goals, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking about structured ambition versus unstructured ambition. Okay, that's what we're talking about. But anyway, many, they never give thought to anything except living for today. And that's very unfortunate. At the last minute, sometimes they decide to assemble a plan that is not well structured. And this is a prime example of blind ambition, going through life with blinders on. And that's what blind ambition means. It means that you do have some sense of goals, but it doesn't seem very important. It's the journey doesn't seem that important. Of how you get there doesn't seem that important, and it is how you get to anything is important, and you should have a set destination, or at least want one. Okay. Because life is difficult without adding to the mix. All right. Y'all know that we get up every day and we're blessed if we can start a day and not start it with an issue. And, if we can start our days and everything goes well, for the completion of that day, not just the 8 hours, that we're on a job or whatever it is we're doing, but 24 hours. That's what we hope for, to have a day where we don't have any issues. We can just sail through that day and it just be perfect, and I mean, that's in a perfect world, but, realistically, we know that we're going to have issues. Some may be small and some may be big. But we want to have a positive outlook on our day and our future. All right. Because we know that, nothing is guaranteed. And not even tomorrow. But we can't live that way. Right. So, we plan. OK, we hope, for a future. We hope for tomorrow. Whether it's coming or not, we don't know, but that's what we hope for. And we all desire to reach our goals. All right. The more ambitious you are, the better. At least that's my philosophy. Okay. I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but, ambition, again, I say is good. It is. But to have ambition is not to be cutthroat. It's not that you got to stab someone else in the back to get to your goals. It should never be that way. And if you have a career plan, then, be ambitious about that, about planning what you want for your future and not planning someone else's demise due to your personal ambition. All right. So, some people may not like what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. All right. So in my opinion, people who never plan for anything lack ambition. And that's not an insult, but it's an insight into the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. And that's how many people go through life. That's how they approach life on a day-to-day basis. It's like, oh, well, whatever happens, happens. Well, we're not in control of much, but those things that we can control, shoot for that goal. All right. And we all know that that approach never works, and why it is better to have less chaos and a more significant direction of where we would like to be. Okay. Most people, they start planning for the future each day, regardless of what the next day might bring. And so wouldn't it be sad to wait 20 years from now, wishing you made a plan within those same 20 years? Now, that's just sad to wake up one day and you've done absolutely nothing. You had a little bit of ambition of where you wanted to be, in that 20-year path. But then you wake up within that, at the end of those 20 years, and you've gotten nowhere. It's like you're right back where you started because you didn't plan for anything. You just shot from the hip, with that attitude. Oh, well, and like I said, that does not work. It does not result in anything but, being lackadaisical. And we know where that gets you, right? So to better understand career goals, you should start with a solid foundation. I mean, who builds a house on top of dirt? Okay. Something that will shift and wash away over time. We all know that is not how you construct anything that you plan to live in. Okay. I mean, you might build a shanty for your garbage can because that doesn't matter. It's a garbage can. You put garbage in it. It's inhabitable. So, you have no plans to live there. So that might work, for that. But it doesn't work for humans. We must have solid foundations, so we can have proper shelter, right? Who wants to live in a house that you open up a door and then the next thing you know, the house is leaning in a total different direction? I mean, houses do that anyway over time, but you know what keeps those houses standing up straight? That foundation. All right. So that's what you want to have for your life as well, is a solid foundation. You want to start out that way with that solid foundation and then start to build up. Okay. And hopefully no one constructs anything with at least a general understanding of how things work when done properly. Okay. And that's pertaining to career goals and anything that you do in your life seriously. Okay. Now, there are different ways to obtain a successful career path, but I can guarantee, okay, most begin with a structured plan. If you want insight or logical direction, you should know how to get there and why a structured approach will always, always, always outweigh blind ambition. Okay? In other words, to see, okay, you need to know where you're going, right? I mean, if you walk into a room that you've never been in before and it's dark, what are you going to do? You're going to stumble. You're going to fall over things because, that's unknown to you. You're unfamiliar with the layout of things within that room. But if you walk into a room that you are well familiar with, because everything has been strategically set in its own place, so when you walk through that room blindly, you don't stumble, you don't fall, because you know that that path is clear because you plan for that. Okay? So, I mean, it's simple. Okay? It's just simple. And that's how that's how everyone should see it. I would think so. But anyway, no matter your chosen direction, a well-charted route will help you if you follow it completely to the planned destination. Okay? You can think of it as a roadmap. All right? And or GPS within your car. Okay, what's the point of typing in an address into the GPS system, either on your phone or, or that navigational tool that's in most cars these days. And then you don't listen to the directions that the GPS is giving you. You choose to follow your own direction. And then, you're someplace where you're not supposed to be, someplace unfamiliar, because you did not follow that roadmap that was laid out for you perfectly, from the starting point of where you started and the ending point of where you're going. Okay. So that's how we should see ambition, structured ambition. It should have a clear starting point, and then a clear journey to get to that destination. All right. So, I mean, these are just simplified ways of understanding what structured versus blind ambition is. But I mean, it's just a logical approach to both of these things. All right. So blind ambition, however, is a direct route to failure. And you may disagree with me again, but that's just the way I see it, and I'm not saying you won't get there. You will get there. But isn't it better to have fewer obstacles and a traveling aid to help you along the way? I'm telling you, I would rather have that traveling aid to help me get to where I need to be, whereas to be stranded somewhere in the middle of nowhere with no idea of which direction to take, which way is up, right? All right. So, perhaps in the near future, I might write a book about career goals, but for now, I'll leave you with this thought. If you want to know which way is up, develop a structured plan for your life and career. Remember, you limit your mobility by not controlling the controllable things. All right, guys, that's it for today's show. You can follow me across all social media. Please like and share. I would appreciate that greatly. Remember to tell those, the ones who you care about the most, how you feel about them, because, tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say that. So on that note, I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.